If you didn't know this, I am a Wisconsin football fan and graduate as of the class of 2021. And I'm recording this in the middle of the third quarter of the Iowa game because I just had to shut it off. Wisconsin football is in a heartbreaking place, and I wanted to do a face cam for this. This is going to be one of my worst intros I've ever done for a video, probably, because it's just going to be me venting for a few minutes. But hopefully you guys find enjoyment of it. But when I went to go grab my face cam to record it, I couldn't find the camera, and I just wanted to get into this. I've been watching Badger football for a very, very long time. And I have a gross obsession with Badger football. It's one of the reasons I started this YouTube channel. It was a bonding thing with my grandfather. My grandmother and grandfather both went to Wisconsin. I've been rooting since I was a little kid. Even though I grew up in Jersey, I've been rooting for the Badgers since I was like 2 or 3 years old. And this is the worst I've felt in the football program since 2022 when we fired Paul Chris. And the program hasn't been good for a while. I think there's some signs of the future being good, but I don't know if the pieces in the coaching staff are correct. I believe in Luke Fickell and the image Luke Fickell has. I think our recruiting is improving significantly. I mean, we're having a 4-star quarterback visit during the Oregon game, and don't get me started on that, because I'll actually be in attendance for that game, and I am absolutely dreading it. A lot of Badger fans are calling for the firing of both Phil Longo and Mark Tressel right now. I feel a lot better for where the defense is than I do where the offense is, and I was excited when Phil Longo got hired. I really thought Phil Longo was this great offensive mind, but based off of research and the way he recruited and what he did with Sam Howell and Drake May at North Carolina and how Mac Brown believed in him. But I got bamboozled, and I bought in way too fast, and I was wrong about Phil Longo. And I don't know if it's so much of the offensive scheme, but more of the damning evidence of it all is the talent evaluation. For 2 years now, we have heard that Braedyn Locke is a savant and can run the offense unlike anybody else. And I don't have the statistics up of Locke's stats right now, but what I do know is he has 8 interceptions at the time of recording in the middle of the third quarter. Anytime he throws an interception, he shuts down, and the offense shuts down. You saw it in the first quarter. After driving down the field on that first drive, he threw an interception on, I believe, the second drive. And then the rest of the half was all punts. And the first drive of the second half was also a punt before he threw another interception. And the kid just doesn't believe in himself. I think he has the talent. I like to believe he has the talent. I mean, the numbers he put up in Texas in high school were insane. But when something goes wrong, he doesn't bounce back very well. And when there's wide open stuff on the offensive side of the ball, he doesn't run with the ball all that often. I mean, last week against Penn State, there were multiple times when everybody came crashing down to stop Tyree Walker or Dupree. And instead of hanging onto the ball himself, he let his running backs get killed when he probably could have scampered for 30, 40 yards. He's not the most athletic quarterback in the world. But when you're running the RPO, a key part of that is you have the running option between you and the running back, and you have the passing option. But if the quarterback run is completely eliminated, it shuts down most of the RPO because the defense can crash and the linebackers can more follow their assignments rather than having to worry about a quarterback running free. And it's just not working out with Locke. The reason I shut the game off, and I tweeted this out on X, I feel like I complain a lot about Badger football on X, but I'm not as bad as a lot of the reporters, which I've been really disappointed for over the past year or so. But when I shut the game off, it was because after the horrendous second interception Locke had, where he stared down the linebacker and still threw the pass, Linebacker made an amazing play because he originally dropped the ball, managed to kick the ball up and catch it himself. I said, if Locke goes back into this game, I'm done. We're down 28-3. The offense hasn't done anything since the first drive. We have Marbury Mator on the bench, who is this 4-star guy, a lot of hype, a lot of excitement. At what point do you just give him the shot? What, are you going to give it 2 weeks and put him in front of number 1 Oregon, and that's when you're going to give him a shot? Because then you're going to crush the kid's confidence, because things aren't going to go well. But when you're getting blown out by an arch rival, the Badgers aren't coming back. And if they do, this video probably isn't coming out whatsoever. But the Badgers aren't coming back in this game. So why not put the young quarterback in? You have 4 games of a red shirt. I think he's only played in 1 game. And he didn't really even get to throw the ball during that, so we really haven't seen what he has. If Locke's really it, because of the TVD injury, Tyler Van Dyke injury, then this season's over. We might get a win against Nebraska. We might get a win against Minnesota. Minnesota's had one of their worst teams in program history this year and are bowl eligible. The Badgers are 1 game away from bowl eligibility. The streak should continue, but there's no confidence, and the fan base has no confidence in what the product on the field is going to be any given week. We looked great against Purdue, Northwestern, and Rutgers, who are the bottom tier of the Big Ten, and we competed against Penn State. We competed against USC. We showed flashes before TVD got hurt on the first drive against Bama. We were driving down the field. But the minute Locke makes a mistake, everything goes downhill. And I don't know how you keep putting him in there. Braedyn Locke's probably going to end up transferring after this year. The writing feels like it's on the wall. I've seen Alex Hornibrook play quarterback. I was through the Graham Mertz era when McAvoy played quarterback. Oh, I've been watching the Badgers since like 2003. And that's before like nationwide coverage. Whenever there was a Badger game on in New Jersey, I was watching it and subjecting it. And there's a lot of reporters that are really bothering me in the Badger circle, and I'm sorry, this video is more of a rant than anything else. There's a lot of reporters in the Badger circle that are starting to have revisionist history of where the program was going come 2020, 2021, and 2022 when Paul Chryst was fired. The Badger program wasn't good. I mean, go back and look at that quarterback room we would have had Chryst stayed in power, and I love Jim Leonard. I love Jimmy. He's former walk-on, great Badger story, fantastic defensive coordinator. But I don't think he was ready to be a head coach. And I think the writing on the wall for that is the fact that he was not offered any major defensive coordinator positions at the college level that we know of, or any other head coaching opportunities. I think Luke Fickell was the right hire, and the way the team's recruiting was the right hire. But you have these reporters, as I was saying, that are acting like 2017 was the norm. 2019 was the norm. No, we weren't recruiting at a very high level, and there was a really bad talent evaluation and player evaluation even when we brought in good kids. Or highly rated kids, I should say. I mean, our 5-star tackle never turned out to be anything, and he's now playing for Kansas. Jalen Berger left the program. Yes, you hit on Braylon Allen, but Braylon Allen was a 3-star recruit. I think there's a lot of talent. I'm excited for Tyree Walker. He's impressed the hell out of me. I know the offensive line's going to continue to improve. A lot of time they've been impressive, whether Badger Twitter wants to admit it or not. A lot of people want to say they've looked terrible. When you watch the games, and I've watched a lot of Badger football, a gross amount. I've subjected it myself to a lot. I make it sound like getting paid to watch college football is the worst thing in the world. I'm very blessed for what I'm able to do, and I'm very blessed for you guys, and I'm very blessed to be able to rant about the Badgers football team and have you guys watch and get your opinion on it. But things don't look good for this season. Might as well start putting in the younger talent, because you're not bouncing back to make the college football playoffs. I mean, we're eliminated. We got eliminated last week when we lost to Penn State. Put in the young talent. But Badger Twitter needs to stop thinking things were all sunshine and rainbows under Paul Chris. Chase Wolf was going to be our quarterback last year had Chris or Jimmy Leonard stayed. We weren't going to get a top-notch quarterback like Tanner Mordecai. And whether Badger fans want to admit it or not, and I have a lot of friends that think Mordecai sucked, Mordecai impressed and brought in a level of running ability that really elevated the team before he got hurt against Iowa. That team was cruising from time to time until the Mordecai injury. And while the offense didn't look amazing in the first 2 weeks with TVD still had that running ability. Braedyn Locke's a statue. I think Marbury needs to get the shot. And I think if Marbury doesn't elevate and play well in the Phil Longo offense, I think Phil Longo needs to be fired. I'm ready to fire Phil Longo today. But I'm just some guy on the internet. And if you do fire Phil Longo, I think the first call you got to make is call Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis was the guy I thought should have been the offensive coordinator when Fickle got hired. Former Badger, was rumored to be a possible head coaching candidate. No matter how up and down his stint at Kent State was, if you watch my video on Kent State, you know Kent State is not a good football program. But if you want to do like a dairy raid offense, Lewis has the power run and the crazy little creative plays. And I think he fits well, and he knows what needs to be done at Wisconsin because he played there. But if Lewis says no, I don't know where you go from there. But Longo's talent evaluation when it comes to Locke, I don't know why there's so much loyalty around it. And why Locke keeps getting such a long leash. We know what we're getting. You'll get a great play once or twice a game where you're like, wow, imagine if he does that full time. And then he'll throw a pick. And then he'll shut down. Or he starts making mistakes, throwing balls behind guys, throwing the ball on the ground, getting balls knocked down. And the wide receivers can't be let off either. I mean, the amount of drop passes the past few weeks has been unacceptable. The only bright spot really has been how Tyree Walker is able to pick up a bunch of yards even when the defense knows it's going to him. And Dupree's shown some flashes as a true freshman. Those guys are both young guys. I believe Walker's a sophomore. Dupree's a true freshman. We have another highly rated true freshman that hasn't gotten any real playing time yet too. You put in Mator, Marbury in, and see where it goes. See if he can pick up the offense. See what he is able to do. Now, if he doesn't get any playing time against Iowa at the time of recording tonight, I don't know if you could put him in against Oregon. Yes, you have the bye week. But you're putting true freshmen up at a massive test. Nebraska might be where that spot comes to be. I'm dreading being in the stands for the Oregon game in 2 weeks. I'm absolutely dreading. I was so excited for that trip. Because the Badgers, even in the second half when they looked bad, they still looked decent for the most part on the defensive side of the ball. And against Alabama, when we got blown out 42-10, when you looked at the drives Alabama scored touchdowns on, they were drives we either had a missed field goal or turnovers, and set the defense up in no-win situations where they weren't going to be able to get the stop. I'm not concerned as much about the defense, and we have a lot of great young talent on the defense. I'm concerned about the offense, because the less our offense can perform, the more we're asking of our defense. And that's why you see 28 points go up on Iowa. Long sustained drives, because our defense can't get a break because our offense goes 3 and out. I think Fickell will right the ship. I think Fickell was the right hire. I still believe in that. I don't believe in Phil Longo. I don't believe in Braedyn Locke. And I feel bad because Braedyn Locke's a redshirt sophomore. But he's started 8 or 9 games. I think he has 1 game where he's completed more than 52% of his passes. And this isn't like a chuck it down the field offense. This is a dink and dunk offense where you're trying to complete the ball 3 to 5 yards down the field. He should be completing 70% of his passes in that type of setup. Things don't look good. Things are going to be rough the rest of the season. I have not given up on the Badger football. I like the future. I mean, I was talking to Ohio State fans that were saying if Ryan Day lost to Penn State and ended up getting fired, they were hoping Fickell would come to them. Fickell's a good coach. Fickell needs 3 to 5 years to fix things, because when Paul Chryst left, whether people want to admit it or not, things weren't good. Graham Mertz was transferring out no matter what. So don't even say Graham Mertz would have been the quarterback had Jimmy Leonard or Paul Chryst stayed. Mertz was gone. We ran him out of town. Just like we ran Jack Cohn out of town. Just like we ran Alex Hornibrook out of town. He wasn't staying at Wisconsin. Braylon Allen, would have gotten more carries, but we would have not gotten guys like Will Pauling. We would not have gotten guys like Williams from USC, CJ Williams from USC. We would have not gotten like half our wide receiving core. And whether they drop balls or not, they're still a major upgrade from what we've had in years past. The revisionist history needs to stop. Badger football is not where we want it to be. But it's also wasn't going to be any better under Paul Chryst or Jimmy Leonard or anybody else. This was whether we wanted to admit it or not, this was a full-blown rebuild. And maybe I'm just saying this to make myself feel better, because I just don't feel good right now. Badger football is the one thing I look forward to. All my friends make fun of me for my Badger football fandom because of how much I cared. Growing up in Jersey, why is some Jersey kid going to Wisconsin? Because I've been a part of the culture. I know alumni. I've been around alumni. My family has a whole history tree of going to Wisconsin. This team matters. Wisconsin sports, whether collegiate or professionally, in the state of Wisconsin, matter. People care. I just wish there wasn't so much negativity around the program right now, and I don't feel like I'm helping that either by making this video. But I just had to get some things off my chest, because I've been having a few people ask me to make a Wisconsin video. Wisconsin football is not where it needs to be right now, but it will be come year 3 to year 5. I think we're 1 to 3 years away. And to be honest, if we want to compete for national titles, if we want to compete to go to the college football playoff every year, then the fans need to start donating more to the school, which I hate saying that because we got a $1 billion television deal and all that stuff. But look at the spending Ohio State does. Look at the spending on NIL and athletic spending overall Michigan does. Penn State does. You look at the SEC, Alabama, Georgia. Look at that spending and look at where the Badgers spending. If we want to realistically be where those guys are, we got to stop opening up our pockets more. And like I said, I hate saying that because the school brings in so much. Paid full tuition to go, out-of-state tuition to go to that school with some financial aid help and all that stuff. I've given a lot back to the university, but if I'm going to talk trash about Badger football and wanting them to do more, then I need to start opening up my own wallet too. Big Cat. Thank God for Big Cat. Wanting to help get a better quarterback for the program. I don't know how this season goes. I'm praying. We were expected to win 6 games this year. We're probably going to win 6 or 7 games this year. I'm hoping we beat Nebraska and Minnesota and go to a bowl game and keep that streak going. I know a lot of people don't care about bowl games, but that streak, that's something I really still care about. And I know deep down a lot of Badger fans really care about too. Longest active bowl streak. Let's keep that thing going. Badger fans, let's not turn on everybody. Let's not turn on the kids. I know I talked down Braedyn Locke a lot throughout this video, and this video is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to do a whole story of statistics and everything, but then it's going to be a 40-minute video at some point. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate you for listening and sitting. I usually script out everything. I literally just came back after Braedyn Locke's pick that led to Iowa's 4th touchdown of the night to go up 28-3, and literally just sat down in my chair and started recording. I love Badger football. I love college football. I think this season overall, although it hasn't gone great for my team, has been an exciting, fun season. As I'm recording, I'm looking at the South Carolina Texas A&M score of 30-20. SMU is playing really well. I think there's a lot of excitement. And I think Badger fans, I think it will get better. Come year 3 under Fickle, come year 4 under Fickle, come year 5 under Fickle. Once Fickle's guys are in place, there's going to be a lot of things to get excited for. It's just trusting the process and realizing that this was a full-blown rebuild. This wasn't a fixer-upper. And I know seeing what Kirk Cignetti and Indiana are doing right now does not feel good from the Badger standpoint. But that is what Cignetti's doing sustainable. We have to wait and see. I'd rather endure these 2 to 3 tough years and create and bring back stability to the Badger program long term than try to have one good season and pray it works out after that. And maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better again. But I'm going to shut this microphone off, cut this video, toss some music over it, and release it soon. I can't believe we're going to be 24, 25 minutes in. And if you stayed for this whole video, I really appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, remember to embrace the grind.